What's going on, YouTube? It's your man Griff, and you know what to do. Hop in that passenger seat, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, very, very important. Hit that like button, and let's roll. What's going on, guys? It's your man Griff. Listen, just a comical disclaimer. I am not a mechanical engineer. I am not an auto mechanic. I don't build transmissions. I don't build engines. And I don't service either one of those, all right? These are just Griff's common sense opinions to what might be going on. And a couple facts. Let's check it out. Let's do a few fact checks. One of the major challenges Tremec engineers faced was developing a single fluid to serve all of the TR9080's lubrication, cooling, clutch conditioning, and hydraulic servo actuator needs. The magic elixir is a Pentosan FFL4 synthetic fluid supplied by Fuchs Lubricants. An 11-liter supply is carried in the bottom pan, pressurized by a gear-driven pump, and cooled by a stack plate heat exchanger, circulating engine coolant mounted atop the transaxle. The fluid change interval is 22,500 miles. This coming from the manufacturer, guys, with a recommended filter replacement every 7,500 miles. So this smart transmission will downshift early during aggressive braking before a corner, delay an upshift during hard lateral acceleration exiting a bend, and hold a gear during a throttle lift to avoid unnecessary shifts. This thing is sophisticated, guys. To achieve the car's 2.9 to 3 second 0 to 60 mile per hour performance claimed by Chevy, the TR9080 provides a burnout mode. I didn't even know about this burnout mode to warm up the rear tires. Why would you need that, right? That sounds like something somebody would do at a track or a drag strip. That's what it sounds like to me, all right? But it provides a burnout mode to warm the rear tires and launch control, which we all knew about, to optimize engine RPM during the race through the lower gears. The engine is held at 3,500 RPM before the first gear clutch engages. This thing is pretty sophisticated. So normal operational capacity is 11.6 quarts. But if the car is used for racing, like I plan to do in Mexico, not the United States, capacity should be raised to 13.7 quarts. Now let's take a look at the original bulletins. GM says some of the issues are caused by debris on the park position sensor magnet, causing an incorrect position reading to the transmission control module. Okay? Dealers are being told to have technicians remove the transmission fluid at 75. I don't think it's the fluid. I think it's the filter. That's a typo. At the 7,500 mile maintenance interval, and wants the techs to save the filter and return it to Chevrolet. GM engineers want to inspect the filters and see what might be gumming up the transmissions. That particular process, guys, I think they stopped that in March, so I don't think that they're actually saving and sending the filters back anymore. But as you can see, GM was in a bit of a quandary trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Why are these transmissions failing like this? So let's continue. What's the end result here? If the park position sensor does track when using the override tool, but will not return under 5 millimeter and the vehicle will not start, then transmission replacement will be needed. It's crazy. None of the park components are serviceable. It was a bit concerning. I mean, again, I'm not a mechanic, so I get it, seal case and everything, but it kind of stinks that this one single component is not serviceable. So if there's a problem with that, you literally have to replace the entire transmission. So let's take a look at some of the common sense fundamentals here. Why is transmission fluid so important? Transmission fluid helps make the act of shifting gears less strenuous on your vehicle by lubricating the bearings and moving metal parts within the transmission. It also helps with other functions like valve body operation, clutch friction operation, brake band friction, that's a tongue twister, and transmission cooling, okay? And here's some of the symptoms that coincide with low fluid levels. Noises, burning smells, transmission leaks, slipping gears, slow gear engagement, vehicle accelerates poorly, check engine or transmission warning light is on. All things that you'll likely see in the event that you have a problem with this Tremec transmission. Now here's something funny to me, guys. Tremec, from their website, okay, for that particular transmission, It says that the fluid should be first changed at 22,500 miles. It's on their website. I'm not making it up. However, this excerpt is from the 2022 manual that comes with, your Corvette. This is the service and maintenance, which is suggesting that the first fluid change is at 45,000 miles. Might be too late if the fluid is causing excessive amount of friction material at that point. You could be done, not even know it. So don't know if I'd wait till 45,000 miles on this one, guys. All right, now we start to get into Griff's opinion, all right? Track assumptions, okay? Launching the vehicle, is this something you'd likely do at a track? Absolutely. Quick accelerations, that's what people normally do at a track, at a racetrack. High-speed driving, yep, that too. Tight cornering, yes. Aggressive braking, sure. Donuts, well, not necessarily donuts at the track, but I think you guys are starting to see where I'm going here, all right? These are track assumptions, right? And if you're gonna track the car, GM suggests that you add 2 additional quarts of transmission fluid, all right? I'm not gonna track my car, but do I wanna launch my vehicle on the street? Yes. Am I gonna do quick accelerations? Heck yeah, that's what the car is made for. High-speed driving? Only in Mexico. Tight cornering? Yeah, probably. Aggressive braking? If I'm going too fast and I need to slow down, definitely. So, with that being said, I will absolutely be adding 2 additional quarts of transmission fluid prior to taking delivery of my vehicle. Yes, this is Griff's opinion. Again, you guys are free to do what you want to do, but Griff's going to be adding those 2 quarts. All right, so what's Griff's opinion? Well, obviously, I think that there's some manufacturing issues. I think there's definitely something going on there. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is. Chevy or GM has identified a couple things, but there's definitely some manufacturer's issues. That's my number one opinion. My second opinion is, some miscommunication in terms of how folks should engage with this vehicle. It's got a sophisticated transmission, if you ask me. And some of the information that they've put out, I don't want to say that it's confusing. I'll say that I don't know if all of the information has been provided to the, to the consumer on this one. Historically with these dual clutch transmissions, there's a couple things that you just don't want to do with them. Now, again, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not suggesting that Chevy hasn't safeguarded, these kind of legacy, truths about dual clutch transmissions, but just inclines, being on an incline. If you guys remember the old school, clutches, and stick shifts, we'd be on an incline and we'd be on the clutch the whole time, just kind of, inching, up the incline. Not something you really want to do with this dual clutch because, again, it's so sophisticated that these gears anticipate one another. They anticipate up and down. So being on an incline is it's not the best thing for these cars, but nobody really communicated that to the consumer. I guess you should just know. Another thing is the inch and creep, with the dual clutch transmission, again, because of that anticipation, and I'm going to continue to say sophistication with these transmissions, that inching, back and forth, inch stop, inch stop, inch stop. Not necessarily the greatest thing historically for dual clutch transmissions. Again, maybe Chevy safeguarded this. And then for me, the number one thing is, improper or excessive launching of the vehicle. Now one would argue that, hey, it's a sports car and it's got that capability. That's what it's made for. I would agree. But, again, I think that one should use caution. You have to understand, most people, they don't even know how to launch the vehicle. I've watched a ton of videos on YouTube where folks are trying to figure it out and they're doing it wrong, So improperly launching that vehicle could have some impact, on that transmission. There's a lot of stress and a lot of friction going on in there, And another thing that I'll share with you guys is, and listen, I knew this going into it. I knew what the finding was going to be before I even did it. And I said, I'm going to do this for my, for my followers here and subscribers. What I did was I just did a search on launching, the C8 Corvette. Now, again, I already knew what I was going to find because the majority of people likely will not put the additional 2 quarts of transmission fluid in the vehicle. So I said, I'm going to do a search on launching the C8. And then what I'm going to do, the same people that are continuously launching this car and having a great time, as they should, and I actually feel bad for some of these folks, but you should be having a good time with the car. But I said to myself, I'm going to do some searches on folks launching their vehicles. And then I'm going to follow the progression of the vehicle, for month 2, month 3, month 4. And I said to myself, I wonder how many months I'm going to make it to until I see the video where somebody is in their thumbnail like this or like this, meaning that they've bricked the car. I could see it, And again, this is nothing more than Griff's opinion and just some of my common sense thinking, And I'm going to tell you guys something. I wanted to go search 10 videos. I didn't even, listen, every single one that I went to, it was the same circumstance. Folks are having a blast. They're launching the vehicle. There's guys doing donuts, which, cool. You should be able to enjoy this car. It's a sports car. You know what I mean? It's high performing. You should be able to do these things. But Griff's suggestion would have been to add that additional fluid because it's a new vehicle. There's new components. It's metal on metal. There's a lot of friction. And if you're going to be aggressively driving that car like me, I'm driving the bones off my car when I get it. I'm going to safeguard myself and just put the additional fluid in there, right? As I mentioned, even though I'm not going to take my car on the track or take my car to the strip, if you don't think that when I get that car, I don't want to launch it, absolutely I want to launch it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'd rather have the additional fluid in there. So my point is, even though you may not take your car to a drag strip or a track, if you're going to drive it in an aggressive manner, suggesting that you would be on a track or at a drag strip, because I take turns in my other vets. I mean, when I have an opportunity, I'm cornering, I'm braking, I'm on the accelerator, I'm doing pulls, I'm driving the car as if I'm on a track, even if I'm not. So if you follow that simple logic, if you drive the car as if you're on a track, but you're not going to track the car, don't get of the mindset that, I don't need the additional fluid because I'm not going to track my car. Listen, you guys are free to do whatever you want to do. This is Griff's opinion. I personally will be putting the additional fluid in because I want to drive the car aggressively, right? So again, check out some videos. If you want to see something interesting, go check out some videos of people launching their cars and just follow their date progression and look at how soon it took for them to brick the car. And again, it's likely some manufacturing defects coupled with, some improper use and, not doing the necessary things to, maintain the integrity of the vehicle, in a manner in which you're driving it. So again, this is just your man's Griff's opinions. You don't have to listen to me. It's just my logic, common sense. You guys do what you want to do with your car. Griff's going to do what he wants to do with his car. Until next Sunday, I'll check you guys out with some more updates. Hopefully there's some more updates out there. I'll hit you guys next Sunday. See you.